Succeeding on YouTube is hard, but so many people could be getting so many more views if they just used 3 tools. In the past year, I've more than doubled my YouTube views, increased my click-through rate by 3.6%, and skyrocketed my revenue. The crazy thing is it wasn't even all that hard to do because I used VidIQ to do it, and I'm gonna give you my 3 secrets to getting these kind of results, no matter who you are or where you're starting from. The typical video creation timeline looks like this, right? You've got research, where you come up with ideas and topics, and then you've got creation, where you actually make the video, and then finally optimization. Optimization is posting, so like title, thumbnail, SEO, kind of in that order of importance. My tools help with these 2. They sort of bookend the process, so I'll break down what I use chronologically. The first step is research, and there's a really technical way to go about this, and then there's one that's more reliant on AI. But we'll start with the technical one first because that's where I've seen the most success. Let's say I'm a YouTuber who does camera reviews, and I'm trying to figure out the best products to feature that the most people are going to be looking for so that I can drive the most traffic possible to my channel. When I'm coming up with a concept like this, I will go to vidIQ's trending keywords tool. I've preached about this over and over again, so if you've been around the channel, I'm sorry for being repetitive, but this is just incredibly powerful, and this is one of the things that truly helped me skyrocket my views over the past 365 days. The trending keyword tool allows you to input any keyword that you're already thinking of, so it's not gonna help you if you're trying to come up with new ideas for new products. We'll talk about that in a minute if you wanted to do that. But if you already have a niche and you're already doing research, I use this to check basically on my gut opinions, my assumptions of what's going to do well. And sometimes, a lot of the time, I'm actually wrong, so I'm glad that I use this. Here's how it works. First, when you open it up, you're going to see that it has top keyword opportunities. These are things that it scanned your channel and it sees that you typically make content like this. This is kind of a good way to brainstorm, but it's not typically how I use it because it's already the content that I'm creating. So yeah, duh, these are the keywords that are gonna be good opportunities because I've already made videos about that. Instead, what I'll do is I'll search specific keywords off of my own research. Let's say company A just released a new product and company B just released a new product as well. Specifically, we'll talk about, Canon and Sony cameras. I have the ability to rent the Canon R50V, and I have the ability to rent the Sony a7 IV. If I type in Canon R50V, it's going to return me a score that averages out the amount of search volume that this search term has compared to the amount of competition that's already out there on YouTube. So the amount of videos that have already been made about the Canon R50V. The search volume here is pretty high, 87,000, and the competition is sort of medium, so to 55.2. I don't exactly know what these numbers mean, but I just know it means competition. Overall, the score is a 62, which, it's not too bad, but it's not great. Now let's check on the Sony a7 IV. Here you can see that the a7 IV has a much higher search volume at 121,000 and a lower competition score of 32. So all of that combines to an overall score of 73. And this is good. So choosing between which one I should make a video about, clearly the Sony a7 IV will be the better choice. The trending keywords tool is how I've done that across all of the videos that I've made this year. Now, in the case that you don't know exactly the type of content that you want to make, so you can't really use the keyword research tool, there's another tool on vidIQ that I think is one of the best kept secrets in the creator tools world. It's incredible, and it's their AI coaching tool. The AI coach is basically ChatGPT but tied into vidIQ. Now, why is this important and why is this awesome? Well, it's because vidIQ has all of your YouTube analytics, so this ChatGPT agent can actually make informed decisions about what to recommend you make based on your analytics, based on your subscriber behavior, and how things are reacting or how people are reacting to different types of content that you make. That means it can do a lot of the research for you. Now, of course, you can ask the sort of typical, based on my YouTube channel, what video ideas do you have for me? But that's pretty vague, and it'll give you sort of basic ideas based on your analytics. I'm not gonna say that this is worthless, but you're honestly just not gonna get a whole lot out of it this way. Just like any other AI tool, the more you put in, the more you'll get out. Like, For example, recently I told it, hey, I just want to come up with new ideas for YouTube, but I don't really want to do things that are performing well in views. I want to focus on creator tools and music licensing services specifically, because these are the things that have the best retention and seem to be the most helpful to my audience and are also the most profitable for me to create. It not only gave me a bunch of good ideas that matched the niche and direction that I wanted to go in, it also explained to me why these video ideas might work for my audience and some unique angles that I could take to them to bring even more value. Let me give you another example just to illustrate how powerful this can be. Let's say you're a gaming YouTuber and you make Minecraft Let's Plays, but those Let's Plays are getting boring and stale. You don't want to make that type of thing anymore, but you also don't want to change things up so much that you alienate your audience. You can literally tell the AI, hey, I'm a YouTuber who makes these sort of Let's Play videos, but I'm getting bored with it. What new stuff can I make that's not gonna alienate my audience? And it'll give you amazing advice. It's basically like having a YouTube strategist that you can just bounce ideas off of. Okay, moving on. We've got the research done. We'll just skip through the whole creation phase. You've made your video, but beyond the actual content that you're producing, the most important thing is packaging. That's what's going to determine whether your awesome video actually pops off and gets a lot of views, or whether it's going to be a total dud. Now, this has totally changed over the past couple of years with YouTube. It used to be that SEO and keywords were really important, but those really aren't anymore, and we're just kind of focusing on your thumbnail and your title. That's what's really going to affect your click-through rate more than anything else. Click-through rate, if you're not aware, is basically just how many people, when they see your video on YouTube, actually watch. Now look, right now my click-through rate is nothing absurd. It's sitting at about 8.6%, but that went up from what it used to be, which was 5%. And this is sort of on the upper end of the standard or like typical range, which most people say, you know, is 5 to 10%, okay? Maybe we'll say 4. That's effectively a jump from the low end of what's standard up to the high end. I call that a win any day of the week. So how did VidIQ help with this? Well, as I mentioned, it tackles your thumbnail and your title. So let's focus on the latter first, the YouTube title. VidIQ's title optimization tool is really pretty good. This is the thing that is gonna take your YouTube titles from being like, yeah, okay, to being very clickable. You can test out and optimize titles on VidIQ's web dashboard, but what I actually like to do is just check my titles when I'm uploading content to YouTube, because their extension directly connects to your YouTube dashboard, and it gives you a score as to whether or not your YouTube title is optimized. Now, what does this look at? It's going to be looking at important things like emotional triggers, accuracy, and intriguing elements. Now, if it's not so great in those areas, they're going to give you 3 different new titles to choose from, and you can refresh this as many times as you want to get a more accurate result to the video that you've created. The key though to optimizing your titles with VidIQ is don't just like click and use whatever the AI spat out. It's obviously AI. And whenever I see people on YouTube with obviously AI titles, it's a massive turnoff. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't use this tool at all, but we're gonna tweak it a bit. So take what they give you and make it a little bit more human, make it a little bit more intriguing, because in the end, human beings still know better than AI when it comes to human reactions. It's just a thing. I think it's always gonna be that way. So what I've done over the past years, I've taken these title inspirations, I've tweaked them a little bit, and I've made them more human, and the result has increased my click-through rate by 3%, which is huge. But that's only one part of the equation. The next thing that you have to look at is thumbnails. How did VidIQ help me improve my thumbnails? Now, thumbnails are interesting because it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. A Mr. Beast style thumbnail is not gonna perform well for me because that's not what my audience wants to see. It's gonna alienate them. But there are some things that all good thumbnails, no matter what type or design they have in common. And those are things like topic match, visual clarity, color contrast, and plenty of other stuff that makes really any thumbnail intriguing and good. Just like the title optimizer, VidIQ has a thumbnail optimizer that scans the thumbnail, checks out all of these things that most good thumbnails should have in common, and lets you know if you're lacking in any of them. The most powerful thing about these optimization tools is really that they switch your mindset into thinking about titles and thumbnails this way. That's more valuable even than having the AI that's scanning stuff. You have to make that mental shift, and in the end, that's really why I was able to get a lot more views over this past year. Now, if you want to dive into VidIQ more in depth, you can watch this video right up over here. It's my full review of it. I think that it'll be interesting.